Mercedes has been telling the GLB story in two halves. The first half, the 268 horsepower rear-wheel drive 250 Plus, made a strong case for families entering the electric SUV market. It was efficient, practical, and covered the fundamentals. But it did not answer the question performance-minded buyers have been asking since the EQB disappeared. The second half of that answer is standing here at the Martigny Motor Show in MANUFAKTUR alpine gray, and it changes the conversation. The GLB 354 Matic with EQ technology puts 349 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque through all four wheels. That is 81 more horsepower and a second motor under the front axle, delivering a 0-60 time of 5.4 seconds in a 7-seat family SUV. For context, that is quicker than the old AMG GLB 35 it effectively replaces, and it does it without burning a drop of fuel. From the outside, this car wears the AMG Line Plus package with a more aggressive front bumper, gloss black, lower trim, and 20-inch AMG 5-spoke wheels that sit flush against the arches. The MANUFAKTUR alpine gray is a solid finish rather than a metallic, and it picks up the shoulder line creases in a way that darker colors hide. It gives the car a presence that feels more expensive than the badge suggests. At the rear, a full-width LED light bar connects the taillights, and the GLB 350 badge sits next to the 4 Matic lettering on the tailgate. It looks purposeful without being loud. Inside, the cabin follows the same layout as the new CLA, with a 10.25-inch driver display and a 14-inch central touchscreen running the latest MBUX system. This is the same software and screen hardware you would find in a GLC or a future S-Class. Getting that level of technology at this price point tells you where Mercedes is heading with its compact range. The seats are upholstered in black leather with contrast stitching and red seatbelts, part of the AMG Line Plus specification. They offer good lateral support without feeling overly bolstered, and the driving position is upright in a way that feels natural for a car shaped like this. The rear cabin is where the GLB separates itself from everything else in this segment. Legroom is genuinely generous for a car measuring just over 15 feet long, and the optional third row turns this into a 7-seater. Though those rearmost seats are best suited for children, I sat back there, and even at 6 feet tall, the second row did not feel like a compromise. That matters, because most cars in this class ask rear passengers to accept less so the driver can have more. Boot space behind the second row measures 19.1 cubic feet with a flat floor and low-loading lip. There is an additional 4.5 cubic feet of storage in the frunk under the bonnet for charging cables or smaller items. For a family weekend, you are not stacking bags on top of each other. What the 350 adds beyond straight-line speed is where this variant starts to justify its price. The 4MATIC system includes a dedicated Terran drive program that you will not find on the 250 Plus, alongside a transparent bonnet camera view that uses the surround sensors to show what is directly beneath the car. For anyone who actually takes their family SUV onto gravel roads, ski resort access tracks, or muddy campsites, those features turn a theoretical benefit into something you will use. Towing capacity is rated at 4,409 pounds, which is enough for a mid-size caravan or a pair of jet skis. And that is another conversation the rear-wheel drive model cannot have. The powertrain uses the same 85 kilowatt-hour battery as the 250 Plus, running on 800-volt architecture with DC charging at up to 320 kilowatts. What most people will not notice is that the rear motor uses a 2-speed transmission, shifting between gears to keep the motor in its most efficient range at higher speeds. At motorway pace, that means less energy wasted turning the motor faster than it needs to, which is how Mercedes keeps the range penalty for adding a second motor to just 10 miles. In 10 minutes on a compatible charger, you can add 161 miles of range. That is a coffee stop, not a planning exercise. If comparisons like this help you decide, subscribe so you catch the next one. Total WLTP range sits between 324 and 382 miles. One detail worth knowing is that the onboard AC charger is limited to 11 kilowatts. With 22 kilowatt destination chargers becoming increasingly common, that ceiling means overnight charging at hotels or public posts takes longer than it should at this price. It is not a deal breaker, but it is the one area where Mercedes chose cost savings over capability. And for a car that gets so many other things right, it stands out. As configured here in Switzerland, This car carries a net price of 82,020 Swiss francs, roughly $104,000. That is serious money for a compact SUV. But what you are getting is a car that charges like a Porsche, seats like a minivan, and accelerates like a sports sedan. Whether the market agrees that those three things belong in the same package is the question Mercedes is betting on. Based on what is standing here in Martigny, I think the answer is already clear. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.